Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a recommendation video for you of some single dad romances. So I've been reading a lot of single dad romances lately that I've just been loving, so I just want to gush about them and chat about them with you because some of them are all-time favorites. And yeah, so let's get right into this video. The first book I'm going to talk about is Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This is a single dad romance, and so the hero is actually a billionaire, and he actually doesn't find out that he is a dad until his 12-year-old daughter comes into the picture and is like, I need somewhere to stay because my parents are dealing with some stuff and they can't have me there right now. So what ended up happening is the hero donated sperm when he was 19, and that is a product of that donation. So he has to kind of figure out on his feet how to take care of a 12-year-old daughter. And so the heroine, she actually gets fired from her job, which is a really bad, horrible situation. She was actually assaulted and like HR fired her, and it was not a good situation at all. So she comes back home to her small town to kind of figure out what she wants to do next. And that's when she reacquaints herself with the hero, Ford, and he is just like drowning and needs help, and she's like, I can help you. And so he ends up hiring her to work for him at his record company in the small town they grew up in. And so it is a childhood friends to lovers romance. It is adorable. They have such great banter, and she really helps connect him with his daughter, and I just loved her relationship with her. It was just so good, and they're just meant for each other, but they've just never crossed that line. They've always had feelings for each other, and I just love seeing them finally, you know, come together as a couple. Like, it was just adorable. I love this one so much. Ford is one of my favorite MMCs ever. He is just adorable. Such like cinnamon roll vibes. I love him. He's just so cute, and I love this romance so much. Now this is a classic single dad romance, All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. This one is just so good if you want a really slow burn romance. So the heroine is moving back to her small town after her mother passed away, and her mother like grew up in this town, and so she really wants to like, you know, pay homage to her mom and like go on all of these hiking trails that her mom loved to do, and to just kind of reconnect with her mom after she has passed. And so she ends up like renting out this like apartment garage type thing, but the dad does not know, like the hero does not know that she is renting. Like, his son set this all up. His son is like in his teens, I think he's like 15, and so he like sets this all up behind his dad's back because he knew his dad wouldn't agree to it. And so when she gets there, the hero's like super grumpy. He's like, why are you here? And she's like, I'm staying here, like, don't you know? And so it's this like hilarious thing. So he ends up letting her stay, and he is a part of like Fish and Wildlife, so he goes on all of the trails and like helps people and like hikers and stuff, I think. Or I don't really know if that's right. I don't remember. He does something in the wilderness, like his job. He's just super duper grumpy, and so she starts helping out with like his son, like taking him to school to kind of like, you know, extend an olive branch. And so it is very slow burn, angsty, because he's like starting to develop feelings for her, but he's this very gruff, grumpy man, and it's just so funny. But I still remember one of the scenes in this book so vividly of her like getting lost in the woods, and he's freaking out, like trying to find her, and once he finally finds her, he's like, I'm so glad you're okay, but like never do that again. And it is just such a good romance. I love this one if you want a really good slow burn romance, because this one is very long. Definitely check this one out. Then I have Falling Embers by Catherine Cowles. This is a great single dad romance. I love this one. This is also one of her most underrated books, I feel like, as well. So the hero and heroine have been best friends for years, but the hero kind of pushed away the heroine a couple of years ago because he was just scared of letting somebody in again and losing them. So he just has pushed her away. And so I think he is a firefighter and she is like an EMT, and they have to work together. And she ends up needing somewhere to stay, and he's like, you could stay with me. And he has 2 daughters, I think. And so it's like forced proximity and they have to be around each other, and she's helping out with his kids and they have such a connection with her, and he's falling for her again, but he doesn't want to let her in because he's scared of losing her, and it's just this like angsty spiral. And I love this one so much. It is so good. I loved how they finally came together, and of course there is some suspense in this one because she is kind of also a daredevil. Like, she loves to do these videos, and he's very protective over her. Like, he doesn't want her doing them and like endangering herself, but then she starts getting stalked on her YouTube of doing these videos. Like, she does like dirt bike tricks and all of this stuff, and so that's kind of also why she needs to stay with him. And I love this one. It is so good. Definitely go check it out. Then I have a Love Me Today by Ayla Jackson. This is a kind of like mysterious single dad romance. So the heroine ends up being I don't know if she's like yes, she is a nanny, but she also ends up training like his daughter on like horseback, doing like horseback rides with her, and he is just like terrified of like letting his daughter on a horse, and they kind of butt heads. It's like hate to love, and I think she ends up having to stay with him. Yeah, so they kind of have like a one night stand, and they have some feelings developing, but he is just so protective over his daughter. But there's also some mystery of like stuff with his daughter, like of her like how she came to be. So it's just like a really fun like single dad romance, forbidden, forced proximity. I remember really enjoying this, and I listened to the audiobook of this one, and it was really good. Then I have Caught Up by Liz Tomford. This is such a great single dad nanny romance. So the heroine is a famous pastry chef, and she just needs a break from being like a pastry chef, and in that world she is just so burnt out. So she is going home for the summer to kind of relax, and her dad is the coach of the like MLB team for Chicago, and so she's like, I'll just stay with you. But then her dad is like, you know, we have this player on the team who needs some help with his son, and so she agrees to nanny his son, but the hero is very skeptical of her, and so he is just kind of like, no. But she's like, I'll do it, and you have like no one else. So he agrees, and they just have feelings for each other. Like, they can feel something building, but she is like, I can't cross that line. I'm also leaving at the end of the summer. And I just remember loving this one. I thought it was so adorable. It was just so cute, and she would like take his son to all of the baseball games, you know, and he's very protective over his son because, you know, the mom of his son is out of the picture, and he just doesn't want somebody to come in again and leave again. And I just love this so much. It is so good. Definitely go check it out. Then I have After the Storm by Laura Pavlov. This is a small town second chance single dad romance. So the hero and heroine were in a relationship when they were in high school, but they end up breaking up, and the heroine jumps into a new relationship, and the hero ends up sleeping with another woman right after and getting her pregnant. And so now it is years later, and the heroine is coming back to the small town to take care of her dad. And she sees the hero and realizes he has a daughter. And so there are still feelings there, and they keep running into each other. And they kind of rekindle those feelings. And it is just really, really good. Very angsty. And I just loved her relationship with his daughter. It was just so cute. And he just was trying to see her at every chance, like, so that they could run into each other, which I found was so adorable. And I just love this one. This is such a great series. It is just so good if you want a really solid single dad romance. Then I have Forbidden Hearts by Corinne Michaels. This is another favorite of mine. I've talked about this book so many times on this channel because I love it so much. So the heroine is coming back from grad school, taking a break because of something that happened, and she is coming back to her small town to just kind of chill out. And the hero is a single dad, and his daughter is deaf, and so his baby mama is going on this trip, and he has to find a nanny for his daughter that can sign. And the nanny that he had, you know, fell out. Like, it just didn't work out, so he is like in desperate need of a nanny, and the only person that knows sign language in the town is the heroine. But she had babysat his daughter like years ago when she was a teenager, and she kind of like messed up because she didn't realize she had like an allergy or something. So he is just like totally against her being a nanny for him, but he begrudgingly agrees, and so she ends up having to stay at his house some nights, and her and his daughter have this really cute relationship. But he is just so protective of his daughter, and they just butt heads, and he really detests her, but it's like the type of like hate to love where you're so hot, I want you so badly, but I can't cross that line, so I'm just gonna be mean to you. And I love that. So this one is just so good, and they finally give in to each other, and it is so good. I love this one. So angsty, forced proximity, a lot of fun. The audiobook for this one is really, really good. I think Zachary Weber narrates it, so I remember really enjoying it. And the last book on this list is Ashes of You by Catherine Cowles. I love Catherine Cowles. This is such a great romance. So the heroine, she has a very traumatic past, and the hero was actually in it somehow. I don't want to like say it because it's a major spoiler. So she is coming back to the small town where she kind of had this incident years ago, and she is applying to be a nanny for the hero, and at first she doesn't know it's him, but he agrees begrudgingly, kind of because he's really worried about her because he knows of her past, of what happened to her, and so he agrees, and she has to take care of 3 boys, his sons, and they are just a really funny group. Like the oldest is having a lot of like difficulty with his dad and just is really angry at him and is dealing with a lot of the past stuff that they went through, and so this is like a forced proximity age gap romance, touch her and you die vibes. Like the hero is the sheriff of the town, and he is just so adorable. He loves Hallie so much, but he doesn't want to go there with her because he's just worried about her, but also he doesn't want to do that to his sons. Like he's worried that that will hurt them in some way. And I love this one. I love like the internal struggle of Lawson, of what he was going through, and I just loved how he was just so gentle with Hallie because of her past, but also not creating like treating her like she was glass. And there's just one moment in this book that is just so good where she is in trouble, like somebody's stalking her or something with her past, and he just comes running towards her, and it's just like, what happened? Like he ran like 3, I don't know how many blocks it was, but he ran really fast for her, and I just remember thinking that was so adorable. And I love this book. I love Catherine Cowles. This one is so good. All right, well, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing me chat about some of my favorite single dad romances because these are so good. You need to read them. And I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations. Oh, 'cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you